Oh, well, my name's Fox9, so I'm at Fox, and I'm gonna say right now, I don't play Battlefield. I have never played Battlefield. Actually, no, that's a lie. I played it for like 10 minutes, and I'm like, wow, this is very different from Call of Duty, and I never played it. I never really played it. I never owned the game and stuff like that. But I have heard many great things about the series. Things like destructive, like, world, basically, where you, like, a guy once told me that, like, in Call of Duty, how, like, you, like, jump out a window, fine, great. In Battlefield, you can shoot a rocket launcher into a building and blow up the entire building. There's vehicles, it's bigger, it's better, there's more strategy involved, and stuff like that. I'm like, this game sounds awesome. And honestly, Battlefield, and this game feels awesome, but it was never something that I never really pulled me to it. A lot of FPSs, unless they are done very well, I really don't get pulled to them, because a lot of time they are just point and shoot for story-wise, and then game-wise, it is, if it's like Call of Duty, it's not that smart of a game. Mind you, I love playing the game with Call of Duty with my brother, but it's not a game that I myself would go out and buy, Call of Duty. But Battlefield 5 is honestly a series that Battlefield 5 looks kind of cool. In the little bits that I've seen I've seen Angry Joe's review where he played the game and stuff. I'm like, it's kind of cool seeing all this stuff happen, and like the tanks, the war, and like even like when they did Battlefield 1, when I saw some stuff like that, I'm like, this game looks kind of cool. I kind of like this. But apparently a lot of people are getting angry with Battlefield 5. But mind you, the creators of the game basically a lot of people are angry. One of the major thing, and the thing is, a lot of people say it's because the game is supposed to not. The reason why people are angry, and they try to dismiss this completely multiple times, try to say, hey, this is not the reason, is because of one NPC and the cosmetic choice of being able to play as a female. That is the major thing. Mind you, there's also the point that, like, I think EA basically said, if you don't like, because a lot of people got angry because you could play as a female, which is optional, and because of one NPC that is a female that has a prosthetic limb, that apparently that means then that they're rewriting history, that they're changing history, that, oh, this realistic shooter is completely unrealistic, and that women are ruining it and stuff like that, and it's some kind of agenda. Which it kind of is, because it allows you the customization to be like, hey, you don't want to play as a dude? Play a chick. There you go. That really is it. Or like, hey, let's add our own character into this thing, kind of like how we added a bunch of these other soldiers who weren't there, and we're kind of, making a game of entertainment for people to play, even though technically this would be considered extremely bad taste, I'm pretty sure, for a lot of people who actually fought in World War II and saw many of their friends and, friends and such die beside them. But, let's turn this war, which is full of tragedies and deaths and all that stuff, let's make it into something fun that a 15-year-old can teabag another soldier on the ground for. Why is no one angry about that? But in any case, people are angry, and a lot of people say, like, oh, it's not because of women, it's not because there's women in the game. No, it's not because of that. It's not because we did just having women in it. No, it's because it's not historically accurate. It's not realistic. It's not that. Women were stuff. And to that I say, why doesn't Assassin's Creed have that same problem? And mind you, Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite game series. Mind you, it is one of those popcorn filler game series where it's just like, oh, this is great, but I am waiting for the next Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild or Okami to come out, or, one of the great games. But Assassin's Creed is one of my favorite series. Yet in that game, even though there was some backlash in some things of historically accurate, a game series that literally is placed in multiple times in history where multiple things happen, where there's a crap ton of inaccuracies to the point where there's ancient aliens, not aliens, ancient precursor race, who drops for whatever reason ancient artifacts all over the world, and then basically apparently Hitler had an orb that made people control people's minds. Genghis Khan had a dagger that allowed him to control that showed people their fears. And FYI, Genghis Khan is in the book. Hitler is in the second game. I want to say there was like one of those background things, as well as multiple other things. King Arthur, Excalibur, as well as Alexander the Great sword are the same sword, and stuff like that. It's like, and also that the assassin and stuff like, it's just stuff like that. It's like, huh. I don't see any people having a problem with that. Mind you, they had a problem with a giant snake in Origins, which immediately people guessed that. You guys kind of can guess that that was an illusion, right? And they're like, no, it's real, but turns out it was an illusion. Spoilers. But in that, and even then, like, I'll bring it to this point of view. World War II is, I think I'm going to say after or during the Industrial Revolution, kind of probably a little bit after. Oh, yeah, more during it. But apparently people are angry that one chick kind of pulled a Fa Mulan and wanted to fight a war, and like these characters are like, you know what? This is a game. It alone itself is already alt history. Let's have our own character who's a female and let people have the customization ability to play as a female character if they want to. It's just optional. And like, it's something like that. It's just like, wait, why? Like, people are so angry about that, and people say, well, women were in the background. They were this. They were doing stuff at home, or this back stuff. They were nurses. They weren't doing all this stuff. Mind you, while this is all going on, in Assassin's Creed, both two games who have female protagonists who are leads of these game series have none of these issues. And no one has been like, oh, bullshit! Or in the opposite. And I guess some, like, again, kind of like the giant snake, it's like a very small percentage of people who actually have a problem with it. And I mean Evie Fry and Cassandra from Assassin's Creed Odyssey. Because even though Odyssey has not yet come out, there is some things that are probably different. Where basically let's first talk about Evie Fry since it's the most recent in history. Evie Fry, if you play as Evie and you take over the gangs of the different parts of London, Evie will stand up and shout, "You all work for me now." Basically a woman telling all these men, you work for me now, even though I don't have any rights. I don't have any rights during this time period. All we really did back then were be either hookers, mothers, nurses, or nuns. Or wives, and I guess that goes with mothers, but like, no one had a problem with Evie being that, even though, mind you, I guess maybe that's why Assassin's Creed likes to really focus on the male characters other than the female ones, to miss this backlash that Battlefield 5 is having for whatever reason. But again, completely unrealistic, supposedly, that Evie should be able to do all this, be a leader of a gang, of a giant gang that expands all throughout London. The Rooks, she and Jacob both run it, but if you play as Evie, it's Evie. Evie's running the gang. And then on the flip note, but she's able to run the gang, say straight out to all these men and women, hey, you all work for me now, let's do this. And they listen to her, they work for her. You can call them over, if it's just you play as Evie, you can call them over, they get on your car and you ride off, stuff like that. And like I talked about this with another dude in one of the comment section of like Angry Joe's video, and even in that, like, he brought up some stuff, even though like we were talking about this stuff, but like the same thing I've seen it multiple times is like, this is unrealistic, this is unrealistic, that women stuff, the realism and stuff, which, mind you, I see authentic history and realism of the time period are kind of really similar, because you're both trying to be what that is. So if you're trying to make a historically accurate game while also trying to make a realistic version of that time period, it's kind of a similar process where you're trying to make that time period. You're not going to make it exactly, but you can have some fun with it, but yeah. And then on the flip note of that, Cassandra, which you might think like, well, how were women treated in ancient Greece? Well, here's a little legend called Pandora, where literally, because of, Prometheus taking fire from the gods after Zeus said, no, humanity can't have fire. Prometheus taking fire from the gods and bringing it down to humanity. And again, this is their religion of almost everyone in Greece during that time, bringing that fire down to, bringing the fire down to humanity. Zeus not only trapped Prometheus on a rock and had an ego buzz at him, but then he created women as a curse to men, aka Pandora. Women were literally considered curses to men during Greece times. They were considered something terrible. Their entire existence, apparently during that time period, was considered to be that they are just a blight on humanity, and if women weren't there, the world would be at peace. So, mind you, Cassandra not only becomes basically a Greek hero, a lost Greek hero during that time period, she becomes one of the strongest. She becomes a Spartan warrior. And again, that was kind of a thing ruled by men. Yet somehow she was able to apparently fight, even though she gets kicked out at a young age, because she apparently is said to be able to take over Sparta, I believe, at one point. But yeah, she was apparently a great hero whose history echoes throughout time, to the point to where, like, she had to be rediscovered. And mind you, like, the guy I was talking to, he said, like, well, maybe it's the reason why she was a lost hero was because she was a woman, and it would be disrespectful and disgrace to the Greek people and all that stuff. Yeah, you could say that if Alexius wasn't a choice. And Alexius is Cassandra, just, male. Basically, it's a Rule 60... Is it 63? I can't remember. Whichever one says a guy can be a girl can be a guy on the internet. That one. It's a switch between it, whatever. That. It's basically that. Even though, like, I'm pretty sure, like, story-wise, even though, like, I think canonically Cassandra is it, but still, in the game-wise, if you play as Alexius, you play as Alexius, you play as a guy. And you play as Cassandra, you play as Cassandra. And apparently there is no real difference which gender you play. So in other words, that's not the case either. That like, oh, it's a disgrace or whatever. No, it's not. It's literally just that she is a woman who is able to do all this and basically become a Greek hero. To likes of, again, Hercules, Odysseus, is Troy considered a Greek hero? Wait, Troy's the city, I think. Crap, I just watched, like, go watch Overly Sarcastic Productions. Red and Blue give a good history and then also mythologies of different things. And definitely watch Red's Odyssey stuff. Odyssey / the Trojan War and stuff like that, because it's really good. It's honestly really good, where she summarizes all that stuff, and it's really great. And Blue's history stuff is really, in-depth, and I like that stuff. Not in-depth, but yeah. But in any case, it's really good and fun. But, stuff like that. During this, becoming a Greek hero was a big thing, and Cassandra was able to do that while being female, while having the idea that women are a curse to men. See, like, it's more, quote-unquote, unrealistic or not accurate to history or whatever for these two characters, Evie Fry, ruling a gang that controls over all of New York, as well as Cassandra becoming a legendary hero. It's more amazing for that to happen, and more quote-unquote unrealistic for that to happen, and unrealistic, than just one female World War II hero, which is in a game that's not really rewriting history, because literally in the reveal trailer that people are getting angry about, all you see are male soldiers except for this one NPC female soldier. And again, in multiplayer, you can just choose to be female. It's cosmetic. No one's making you choose that. Even though a lot of people are saying, it's rewriting history. Well, Assassin's Creed has been doing that since 2006, when did the first one come out? And they've added aliens and history to that, while also saying, while people get angry saying, that's not historically accurate, that there's a giant snake. Oh, no, is it historically accurate with ancient aliens? Don't answer that. Aliens, man. But yeah, that's just my 2 cents on that stuff. Again, again, the biggest thing that I've seen, again, if they're calling people uneducated, EA, I say that only if I say that in one sense that, one, they probably shouldn't say that, but also, at least from the one article I read, it sounds more like they're saying you're really, it's kind of really dumb to complain about this, about a cosmetic choice and one NPC, which I will agree, it is stupid to get mad over that, or at least in my eyes, and on the flip note of that, and on the flip note, and again, on the flip note of that, sorry, I blinked out for a second. On the flip note of that, they said, if you don't like the game, don't buy it. Which a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm not going to buy the game. Fuck. You know, if that was the real reason why people didn't go buy the game, there would be so many YouTubers who would not have a job. Like any of these big higher YouTubers, because literally a lot of the higher YouTubers, if you watch them, like Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, and all this stuff, there's that one point where they're like saying, if you don't like my videos, don't watch. Simple! And literally they're the highest grossing channels on this goddamn thing. So, I don't know. Just like, it seems like really more is focused on the whole idea of one NPC and the ability to choose to be a female character for a cosmetic choice. Other than that, I don't really understand why. Because those seem like the only 2 reasons why people are angry. I see it as incredibly stupid to get angry over these 2 things because it's not accurate to history. Because again, if you look through the different people's channels on Battlefield 5, a lot of them are literally just that. Are literally just, there's not accurate to history, or my grandfather fought in World War II and they had a picture. There was no women. And to that I say, really? Was there a HUD that shows your bullet count? Was there a live feed of, like, satellite feed of, like, the Battlefield? Were there perks? Were there, like, customization things that you get? I think out of loot boxes, I'm not entirely sure. Was any of that also in that picture? No? Then one NPC and a cosmetic choice should not be making you so goddamn angry. But in any case, that's just my thoughts on it. Tell me what you guys in the comments below. Thanks for watching the videos that I've done. Links are on my Facebook around there somewhere. I know anyone's gonna see this video, but let's see what happens. Thanks for watching the videos, and we will see you later. Are people gonna get angry at me because I didn't do the exact salute, but just did a... Probably not, because it'd be dumb to get angry over that.